My stay in Magnolia taught me many things. Among them was that over the course of time I became a vegan. I was 70 years old when I became a vegan. I had sort of toyed with being vegetarian for a number of years and kept being referred to in literature and things I was reading to Will Tuttle's book, The World Peace Diet. And I would look at readings about the book and say, oh yeah, well, that's interesting. And then one day I decided to order the book, and then I started reading it, and it also coincided with the time when my dog of over 10 years was dying. And I looked at this dog and realized the emotion, the feelings, the attachment, the faithfulness, all the sentientness of her being, and realized that when I finished reading that book, I would not eat meat again. It was a long story for me to get there because I loved meat. I grew up with my dad growing both beef and pork and chickens, and we had our own meat. He killed animals every year, and we froze the meat, cooked the meat, cured the meat, and I was a meat eater. And I loved meat, and I still can remember how good all of those dishes were. I also knew from being there the conditions under which animals live in a factory farm. And I also knew that how the factory farms were run was also the way the universities had taught these farmers to run them. And so it was the best science could provide. But it was a part of, I think, the dualism in our country of a either or, and there was a real lost consciousness and a disconnect between what we eat and what's on our plate and the life that is taken for us to do that when we can eat a plant-based diet and get firsthand the protein rather than secondhand through the animals. And it's healthier and better for us, and the animals can live. But it was a hard decision to come to that over time until I read that book and actually saw this companion animal dying. And when I realized from Jane Goodall that, for example, hogs have higher intelligence than dogs, it seemed like the thing that would make sense for me to do with my life. It was an ethical decision, and nothing I've ever done has been easier. And I feel like that I have learned and grown so much since I made that decision, and I'm pleased that I did it.